Okay, folks, we're starting out laying down, so come down and spread yourself out. I like to think of trying to take up a whole lot of space. Come down, take up all that space. Start to breathe deeply into the whole front of your body. Big inhales. Big exhales. Feel the back and sides expanding and contracting just as much as the front body. And allow the breath to get a little bit longer and more complete with each round. So when we're starting out, just kind of transitioning into practice, it's really helpful to get the breath going first. Think of it as kind of like you're starting a fire. So you need to bring a lot of clean, fresh air in. And then squeeze all the old, stale air out. And you're thinking of a lot of strength, a lot of movement in the torso. So we haven't even left the floor, but we're moving a whole lot. All the muscles between your hips and your shoulders are moving. Hopefully you feel your body relaxing, your hips and shoulders and arms and legs getting softer as you lay here. Just take a moment to notice how you're feeling. Your body too, perhaps, but also your thoughts and your emotions. How are you doing today? Just check in. Without judging or trying to change anything, just see how you're feeling. And from here, my friends, let's just bring in some gentle movement. So we'll start out by warming up your core a little bit. Okay, if you bend your knees, pick your legs up and float your knees just over your hips. You can put your knees right together. And then feel how from here you can really press your low back to the floor. Okay, you can either let it pop up away from the floor or you can press it down. So we want to do the pressing down. You're thinking of really supporting your low back while you do this, okay? Low back on the floor. Go ahead and reach your fingers up to the ceiling here. And peel your head and shoulders up off the floor as well. So if this is too much for your neck, you can always drop your head, okay? No problem. But from here, keeping a really nice, crisp 90-degree angle in each knee, could you just reach your right toe to tap the floor? Keep the 90 degrees, tap the right toe to the floor, and bring it back up. Let's try the left side. Left side, tap, and bring it up. Keep that perfect right angle, right side, up, and left side, up. Keep breathing, okay? I like to exhale when I do something with effort. So exhale to tap, inhale to bring it back in, exhale, inhale. Now you could keep going just like this, or you could drop your head if you need a break. Remember that you want your neck to be long and smooth so that there's no wrinkles anywhere in your neck. It's long. You can add a little more effort to this also if you want some extra challenge. Next time you tap a toe down, send the opposite hand to reach back away and then back to center. Toe tap, opposite hand reaches back, back to center. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Keep it going. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. You feel your core getting warm. You feel your abs getting warm. Keep breathing. Exhale, inhale. 3 more times on each side. Keep that belly button pulling down. 2 more. Last one. Nice. Bring it back into center here. Drop your head and shoulders to the floor. You can bring your knees in and give them a little hug and rock your low back out on the floor. Okay. Take your hips around in some opposite facing circles a few times. And then allow your feet to drop to the floor next to your hips. Your knees are pointing up, and you could just drop your hands on the floor next to your hips as well. So let's start to fire up the back of your body. We've given you some nice core activation, and this is going to help your low back release a little bit. It's just going to give you some all-over strength. And now back body. So before we go up, I want to make sure that we've got some good activation in the legs and the core. So imagine you've got a really big, thick book, okay? Giant book like a dictionary, and you want to hold it between your knees without dropping it. So there will be some space between your knees for the big book, but you're squeezing them inward so that you don't drop it, okay? So keep your dictionary. You'll feel that strength in your core as you hold that big book there. We want to inhale and lift the hips nice and high. Think of looking up so that your back of your neck doesn't touch the floor, okay? And exhale to bring the hips down. And let's do that a few more times. Inhale, hips up. Hold your book. Exhale, hips down. Keep going. We're going to just add some intricacies to this simple movement. So keep breathing, hold your book, and then as you lift your hips up and down, start to roll the spine up and down. Make it very snaky. Peel it up and snake it down. Like your tailbone is the very first and then the very last. Additionally, as you move, keep in mind that you always want your nose to point up so the neck doesn't roll down. And you always want your tailbone to point away from the top of your head so that your spine feels like it's always getting a little bit longer. Okay, next time you come up, hold right there. Hold and breathe. And just hang right here with me. If you need to come down, you can always come down, okay? But if everything's going great, make sure you've got your book between your knees. Squeeze them in toward each other. Notice how that feels strong in your core, okay? Notice your glutes, they're turned on. Your hamstrings are turned on. And your nose is pointed up, of course. You might try bending your elbows and pressing your elbows down into the floor here. I like to do that. I feel like it gives me a little bit of extra push down, and you can feel broader on the chest. Another thing you might enjoy is joining your fingers behind your back underneath you, and then you can really scoot your shoulder blades under your heart and press against the floor. So we'll take 3 more long breaths here, just letting the back of the body rock, okay? Squeeze your knees toward each other. 2 more breaths here in bridge pose. Push that floor. Last breath in. Okay, let's roll down in slow motion. So release your hands. Snaky spine rolls all the way down as you exhale. Snake it down. All right. When your hips land, take a few windshield wipers here. Just rolling out your hips and low back. So hopefully you got your hamstrings nice and warm there. Glutes feel warm as well. Okay. Next time your knees point up, pause, and then tuck your hands one behind each knee. And we'll just rock it up and down a few times. So just playfully rock it down, roll it up. Okay, if you spread your knees and elbows kind of wide, you can make it kind of slow and more of a back massage on the floor, okay, which I always like. Try it out. Maybe 3 more times. See if you can come up and balance on your hips each time. Maybe use your toes if you need to. 2. 1 more. Come on up. And balance. Okay. Balancing on your hips in a boat pose, you can put your toes down at any time. Okay? It's a lot more easy and gentle that way. But if everything's going great, go ahead and float your toes. From here, see about putting your hands together. You can interlace your fingers and make a little fancy yoga sparkle gun that shoots out sparkles. Okay, and we're gonna twist. So turn over to the right. You're gonna tap the floor with your sparkle gun. Bring it back through center and twist to the left, tap the floor. Inhale through center, exhale to the right. Inhale through center, exhale to the left. So I want you to keep going, okay? You can put your feet down, but no matter where you are, your spine is long and your femurs make about a right angle with your spine. As you lean back slightly, 3 more times on each side. Inhale, exhale. Nice big twist. 2 more. Last one. Rotating your rib cage around your spine. Nice. Bring it on back to center here. Drop your feet. And drop your hands behind you. Okay. And make sure this feels nice on your wrists. You want your hands just about under your shoulders. And your fingers point out away from you. Okay, whatever feels nice in your hands. And then press your hips up off the ground. So we're going to warm your back body a little bit more. If you ever need a break here, you can just drop your hips, okay? But we're thinking of floating the hips up off the floor. And see if you could bring your hips close to your heels. Just try that. Hips close to heels. And then pick them up nice and high. Think a little crabby shape. And then see if you could float your hips back by your hands. Now you might scrape the floor here. You might sit down by your hands. Or you might try to float your hips through your hands. It's really up to you. Hips up. Hips by your heels again. Hips up. Keep breathing. Hips by your hands. Let's try it a few more times. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips to your heels. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips to your hands. Okay, so the longer you stay up off the floor, the more strength you can build, more warmth in that back body. If you want to sit down on the floor, you could take that break. Keep it going. Notice your arms. Breathing into the fronts of your shoulders here, nice shoulder stretch. Three more times. Maybe you can send your hips back between your arms. Two more times. Last one, up and through and up. And then from here, just sit your hips back down on the ground. You could shake out your wrists, maybe flip them over, stretch out the top of your hand. Okay, really warmed up, shoulders there. Okay, got your hips a little bit warmer. So go ahead and point your knees out to one side here, and we'll flip it to a hands and knees position. Okay, nice little tabletop. In your little tabletop, let's just get the right knee up and start to circle out the right hip. So at first, we'll keep the right hip level with the left, and you're gonna feel a little bit limited, but just see how big of a circle you can make without lifting your right hip. Okay, feel that right glute working, the outer hip. Rewind it. And now pick up the hip, open it up, stack it on top of the left. Big hip circles. And rewind that. Okay, go ahead and stick the right leg straight out behind you now and flex the right foot. So point the right toes down at the ground and then drop to those toes. You're just gonna push back through the heel a little bit. So right away, you feel hopefully a very pleasant calf stretch, okay? And you can really press back through the heel if you like and feel that stretch go all the way up to your hamstring if you choose, okay? You can also experiment with a little bit of core strength here. What if you press back through the right heel and lifted that left knee up and in towards your chest? Okay, I just want you to hold here, hover, and push the floor. If you notice that your spine tends to round while you're here, see if you could take the round out of it by moving your heart forward towards your thumbs. Hold and breathe. It is challenging, but you can do it. For one more big breath in. And then exhale, let it go. Bring it back down to hands and knees. And we'll just switch sides. Okay, the left knee up, circle that hip out. Do your best to circle without lifting the left hip at first. You just want to warm all the little muscles around your hip. All the little movers. Go ahead and rewind that. Okay, now open up the hip. Pick up the left hip, stack it over the right. Big circles. And rewind it. Okay. As you're ready, just point that left knee back behind you and extend the left leg. Flex that ankle and drop those left toes to the floor. We'll push back through the heel a good bit. So find that little calf stretch. Find your hamstring stretch if you like. All the way across the back of the leg. And then maybe challenge yourself. Peel up that right knee. Tuck it in towards your body. Hold and breathe. So we want to level out the spine. See if you could bring your heart forward. Hold, stay with the challenge. Pull those elbows inward. One more big breath here. And then let it go. Back down to hands and knees. Tuck your toes here, lift your hips. And we're gonna walk out a little down dog moment, okay? Heels pedaling, head shaking. Okay, friends, we're gonna come up to standing. So from here, just tiptoe. See if you can come way up on your tippy toes. Tiptoe as close to your hands as you can get. Okay, when you get as close as you can get, drop your heels, grab your elbows, and we're just gonna swing for a moment. Swaying side to side. So put all the weight in one leg, put all the weight in the other leg. And you can really bend your knees here. I want to encourage you to give your spine some time to truly hang, and your head some time to truly hang. So we can use gravity here to just lengthen and release that whole spine. Okay, you've been rocking side to side, kind of warming and waking up all those little stabilizer muscles. Now drop your fingers in front of you, maybe bending your knees more, and start to rock onto your toes and onto your heels. On the toes, on the heels. So warming front and back of the leg, warming your feet. And then find perfect balance on the very center of each foot. Just find some kind of equilibrium here. Slight bend in your knees. Inhale here. Let's roll it all the way up to standing. Reach up tall. Okay, exhale here. Just bring your hands down in front of you. And I'm just going to turn slightly to face you because I want to stay up standing for a little while and just work on some balancing postures. So we want to get the legs nice and warm. And one of the best ways we can do that is with some standing balancing postures. So if you feel like you want to stand next to a wall, okay, that can be a really nice helper. A table, something you can just put one finger on sometimes makes a big difference. So I want to start off standing postures by really grounding and finding your best alignment. So pull the belly button inward, point your tailbone straight down at the floor, and think of lifting your heart up. And you can do whatever you like with your hands, okay? Ground extra into your left foot. Just come up on your right tippy toes for now. Okay, and this might be a nice place for you to balance today if balance is really challenging for you. But I want you to start to hinge that right hip open and point the right knee out to the right. So you're up on the right tippy toes. Right knee opens to the right. So you feel that external rotation in your hip. So if you feel pretty good about it, you can slide the right foot up to your right calf on the inside there. Up to the left calf, sorry. And you can balance here. Okay. Remember to keep pressing down through that left leg. The left leg is strong. The tailbone points down. The heart moves up. Now, if you want to, you can move the right foot up to your left thigh, okay? But you're going to want to skip the knee. So please skip the knee entirely. Do not press on the inside of your knee. But if you want to press on the thigh, I want you to step on yourself really hard, okay? So actively press the right foot into the left thigh. You can grow your arms up overhead if you like, okay? And if you're not challenged enough and you want more challenge, close your eyes. Okay, that is so challenging for me that I don't think I can do it without falling. So see what happens here. I want you to take a few more breaths in your tree posture, making it feel just right. Okay, the whole time you're doing this, your left leg is working, it's stabilizing, it's getting warmer. Maybe you want to grow your arms up overhead. You might even decide you want to add a teeny tiny feeling of a back bend in here. Who knows? I like to work in a back bend whenever I can. Okay, one more really nice big breath here in your tree posture. And then see if you could come down as slowly and deliberately as you came in. So if you slid your leg up, you'll start slowly sliding it down, still having the knee point out. If you had your arms up, see if you can slowly bring them down. And slide that right foot all the way back to the floor. And then when it lands, you can shake out the left leg. Whew. Okay, hopefully you feel the work that we did in that left leg should be a lot warmer. So now we're just gonna switch sides, okay? Same thing. So find your really long posture, tailbone tucked, belly button pulling in. You feel strong in the right leg, and you'll start to drop into that right foot, okay? Press down through that right leg, and then left tippy toes on the floor. Hinge that left hip to point the knee out to the left. And that's what we want to keep that whole time, that external rotation. Okay, so hands wherever you like. Maybe you slide the left foot up to the right calf, and you can stay there, or you can keep the foot on the floor. Okay, finding that strong standing leg. Push down through that leg, y'all. Okay. Maybe step the left foot onto your right thigh. If you do that, step firmly. Push really hard against your own leg, okay? We'll take some time here just to breathe and be. Maybe your arms grow. I really kind of want you to find whatever shape feels nice for you here. Make this very personal and individual. Okay, you can play around with adding a little back bend if you like. Keeping that belly button pulling into your spine, and allow the right leg to do its little wobble. You might feel the right arch kind of wobbling. Let that happen. Embrace the wobble. Maybe one more breath here in your tree pose. And start to come out the way you came in. So slide it down really slowly. Be deliberate with it. Coming down to both feet finally. And you can shake out that right leg. Whew. Okay, chances are your legs feel a good bit warmer now. So I'll just turn back to face the front of the space. Okay, so we're back where we were before, standing at the front of your spot. With your inhale here, just lift your heart up, reach up tall, and exhale here. We're gonna hinge it all the way down. Okay, you might bend your knees here slightly so that you can drop into this. And then with your inhale, just come up halfway. You can use your fingertips on the floor or your knees looking forward. With your exhale, fold it even deeper. This time with your inhale, push into your heels, roll it all the way up again. And again, exhale, hinge at your hips, fold it all the way down. Again, inhale, come up halfway. And exhale to fold. Okay, just giving the backs of your legs some chance to open up. Again, inhale, roll it up. Again, exhale, fold it all the way down. One more time, inhale, look halfway up. Then one more time, exhale and fold. Nice, from here, palms are down. Go ahead and walk your feet all the way back to a plank, and then find a downward facing dog. Hips up in the air, heels walking out. All right, so let's continue to get into your legs, get them a little warmer. Okay, remember at any time, you could drop to your knees and just take it easy on your knees. Okay, so a few more breaths in your downward facing dog here. Start to push into your hands, pull back on your hips. So grounding extra into your left foot now. Pick up your right leg, send it up and out behind you, And you're gonna have a nice pointy toe there because we're gonna be using the top of your foot to touch down to the mat. So tap the top of the right foot down to the mat and then lift it up nice and high without lifting the right hip. Tap the foot down, lift it up nice and high. Keep breathing, okay? I like to inhale the leg up. Exhale, tap it down. Again, inhale. And exhale. 3 more times, leg up. Leg down. Nice and slow, leg up, nice and high. Leg down. This time when you lift it up, hold it right there, hold and breathe. Push the floor with your hands, push the floor with your left foot, and reach up tall with your right. Keep the hip low though. Nice breath. Inviting warmth and space into the back of that left leg. One more breath here. And then as you let go of that breath, pull that right knee forward, drop the right foot between your hands. Let's drop that left knee to the floor here. So up on your fingertips. So you have a lot of space under your chest here. We're just gonna rock the hips forward and back. So feeling out the back of the right leg. Okay, noticing that right hamstring here. And then let the right foot come back to the floor. So you're back into that little low lunge, okay? And then start to activate your legs against the floor. So as always, in any lengthening activity for your muscle, you want to be activating at the same time. We would never want to lengthen a passive muscle, a soft muscle. So press down into both feet, both knees, trying to draw toward each other so the legs are very strong. And then you want to use that right knee to press up. Reach up here and we'll just breathe here in your low lunge, your Anjaneyasana. So keep breathing. You maybe want to think of lifting your heart. Okay, you might want to take it easy. You can just drop your fingers at any time and really take it easy, okay? But if one of your goals is hamstring lengthening and strengthening, you're still pressing into your legs and you're still trying to draw them in toward each other, and perhaps you might lift the back knee. So you can tuck the left toes and hover the back knee. And you want to think of lifting that kneecap nice and high. So breathe here with me, pushing down into the floor, belly button into spine. Remembering you can always take a break. Think of lifting that heart up and open here. 3 more breaths. Push into the floor. Two more. In your lunge, activating your legs, warming them, releasing tension in your hips. Last breath here. Nice. Drop the back knee if it was up. Drop your fingers around that front leg. Okay? And we're going to pull back on the right hip here. Point those toes at your nose. And you can walk your fingers back so they're more under your shoulders, okay? So that you can have a really long spine. So here is where we really get to flex that right foot, point the toes at your nose, and if you dig down onto that right heel, so really press down in the right heel and pull back on it, you can feel the whole back of the right leg letting go. So we'll spend some time here in your half split, okay, Ardha Hanumanasana. It's possible that you might want more here. In that case, you can move the left knee back. Try moving it just a few inches back. Keep pulling back on the right hip and see how you feel. Maybe you can move it back a little bit more over time and you can kind of play. You can even move it all the way back to a split if you like, okay? But you're just gonna feel out what your goal is today, okay? No matter what, the right foot is flexed, feeling good across the back of the right leg. And do your best to have a long spine, okay, no matter what. A few more breaths here. The more you flex that foot, the better. You can also use that right kneecap. Think of drawing the right kneecap up to your hip. Okay, start to make your way out. If you were all the way back in a split, you're just gonna start walking your hands forward, walking the back knee forward, okay? Until your left knee is back under your left hip, and you could put that right foot back on the floor in a lunge. From here, both palms are gonna come back down to the floor. Let's see if we can lift the right leg up to a 3-leg dog. So tuck the left toes, hover the left knee, right leg up and out behind. Inhale here, 3-leg dog up in the air. And with your exhale, drop that right foot next to the left. Okay, back in your downward facing dog. I'm gonna walk it out here. And we'll go straight into the other side. So remember, you can do this with your knees down, okay? But we're gonna have the left leg up into the air. And we're pointing the left toe because we're using the top of the foot to top the floor. So keep breathing. I like to exhale to tap and inhale to lift the leg. Find a nice rhythm for yourself. And do your best not to lift the left hip when you lift the left leg. So hopefully you notice the back of the right leg here, getting a great stretch. Keep breathing. 3, 2, last one. Lift and hold. Push into your hands. Push down into that right foot. Breathing here. Space in the back of the right leg. Strength in the back of the left. Okay, as you're ready here, you're pulling that left knee forward. Go ahead and drop that foot between your hands. Drop the back knee. And let's just shift the hips forward and back. You can come up on your fingertips. Just moving forward and back. Okay, feel the back of the left leg. Hopefully feels nice and warm. And then come forward to settle into your low lunge, okay? So we want to activate your legs, right? We want to press down into both of your legs, push the floor away, but also draw the legs inward, like you're trying to snap your knees together. And then you can stay down on your fingertips if you'd like to keep this more gentle, or you can press up on the left knee and find a reaching up action with your arms. Breathe here. Pushing the floor down is so important, okay? So take some time. We're just going to let the posture do its magic here. Pushing down, lifting that heart, finding a big, open, spacious chest. Tucking your back toes here, you can spice this up and lift the back knee if you like, okay? That's going to make it more challenging, and it's going to give you more warmth and spaciousness available in your legs and your hips. So make that choice here, knee up or knee down, either way, breathe. Lift and open your heart, belly button always pulling in. One more big breath here in your huge lunge shape. Take up a lot of space. And then bring that back knee down. If it was up, drop your fingertips back on the mat, under your shoulders. And let's pull back on the left hip now. Flex that left ankle and pause here in your half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. So fingers under your shoulders help to make your spine long. Do your best, okay? The right knee can stay under the right hip. And you're just thinking of digging down into the left heel and pulling back on the left hip. Now this might be quite enough and you'll just stay right here. Everyone's super different, however, so feel free to explore on the spectrum of this Hanumanasana posture. It's possible that you might want to move the right knee back. So I just want you to take it slow, experiment, okay? But you could move the right knee all the way back if you wanted, okay? And in that case, you would just walk your fingers so they're always under your shoulders. Everyone's different, guys, so just giving you options. No matter where you are, feel the back of the left leg opening up as you look forward. The more you activate that left quadriceps on the front of the thigh, the more you flex the left foot, the more opening will be available. Couple more breaths here, friends. Just finding that extra space. Okay, if you were all the way back in your split, you're going to start walking your hands forward, walking the right knee forward so it's under your hip. Okay, once that right knee is back under your right hip, you can rock forward, put the left foot back on the floor, and you're back in your lunge. Palms back on the floor, under your shoulders. Let's see if we can send the left leg up to a three-leg dog now. So tuck the right toes, hover the right knee, tuck this left leg up underneath you, send it back, big breath in, three-leg dog. And exhale to drop that left foot next to the right. All right, walk it out here for a moment in your downward facing dog. And then once again, up on your very tippy toes, go ahead and tiptoe all the way to your hands. See if you can get maybe a little closer than you did when we did it a few minutes ago, now that your legs are warmer. And then drop your heels, bend your knees generously, and just hang. Okay, from here, we're gonna play around a little bit, okay? So walk your feet a little bit wide. Maybe a little bit wider than your hips are, okay? And you feel free to bend your knees, okay? So that you can at least get your fingertips to the floor. So bend them as much as you need to get those fingertips down. And then point your right toes over to the right. And then point your left toes over to the right. Walk your hands out to the right as well. So all you've really done is you've walked yourself to point out to the right with your fingers and toes. And so you can bend each knee as much as you like, but see if you could extend that right leg and kind of drop and drape yourself over that knee, getting a nice stretch across the back and the side of your right leg. Now this might be quite enough. You might just want to stay right here, okay? It's possible that you want to explore a little further. In that case, you're going to keep walking your fingers so that they're almost behind you now, okay? You're going to point the right toes at the back of your space and try to point the left toes at the back of your space. So now your legs are crossed, okay? You've turned yourself completely around. And when you look at your knees, your right knee is closer to you, okay? If you can bend your knees and just drape yourself over your legs here, go ahead and do it. Take a few more breaths. Remember, you can always back it up. But if everything's feeling great, extend your knees, maybe push into your feet, but keep a little micro bend in your knees. Okay, hopefully feeling that right outer hip release in this funky shape. And we'll start to untwist and bring it on back. So walk your hands back over, out, okay, by that, where the right foot is. Back the way you came, pointing your toes back out to the side here. Walk your hands back out to the front of your space, and your toes follow your hands. And we're back where we started. Feet about hip width, folding. Remember to bend your knees if you need to. Let's try the other side. So we're going to start by walking the hands out to the left, pointing all of your toes out to the left, and see if you can just fold yourself over that left leg, okay? This might be enough. You might need to bend your knees. Or if you want to keep exploring, walk your fingers to the back of your space and point your toes at the back of your space. You're just pivoting. And now your legs are crossed with your left leg on top. So hold here, hang your head. Just breathe. Finding extra space in your low back, maybe, your legs. Let your head truly hang. And remember, even if you can fully extend your knees, keep a little micro bend in each one. Okay, my friends, we're going to come out the way we came in. So walk your hands back over to the side. Point your toes to the side. Walk your hands back around front. Point your toes to the front. From here, just bend your knees and come all the way down to a seat. Shake out your legs here. All right, friends, excellent work. Let's just find a very comfortable seat. Okay, maybe Sukhasana with your shins crossed. Your feet are close to your knees. We just want to sit up tall here. Close your eyes. Taking a moment just to be still and notice how you feel. Let your breath return to its natural pace here. Let your body soften almost completely, except just for the minimum amount of effort that you need to sit up nice and tall. Perhaps with a little tuck in your chin, perhaps with a little pull back in your belly button to keep your spine long and neutral. And just take some time to notice the effects of your practice kind of swirling in your body. Notice your thoughts, notice sounds around you. And as you rest here and just spend time observing and being with yourself, feel any remaining tension just draining out of your body into the floor. Even your jaw is soft. Your hands and feet are soft. And maybe you finish your practice with a little smile. So friends, please keep resting just like this for as long as you can. The longer the better. This is where I'll leave you for our practice today. Thanks so much for joining me.